I love myself. I'm fearless. I'm powerful. I choose to be happy. Maybe you've also tried to grow or change something in your life by using these types of affirmations. In this video, I will answer the question if this actually works, and if yes, how. Hey everyone, welcome here. I'm Maika, a psychologist, and this is Becoming an Expert at Self-Leadership, a channel dedicated to supporting you and empowering yourself so you can live your best life. In self-help literature, affirmations are commonly recommended for all sorts of areas that we strive for change in. I've already mentioned a few popular affirmations at the beginning of this video. They are short sentences that start with I or I am, and then mention something that the person who repeats the affirmation wants to believe about themselves or the world, and they feel there's still some room for growth in that area. I looked through a lot of research to try to find an answer to how effective this is. And the first thing I noticed is that there haven't been a lot of studies done on this. The few studies that did look at how effective affirmations are found that they are not always helpful. In short, people who already believe in themselves seem to benefit from affirmations, but people who have a low self-esteem don't always benefit from using affirmations, especially if it's an affirmation that addresses self-esteem and that affirmation seems implausible to them, unbelievable, or far-fetched. It's not only that it won't help repeating that affirmation, but it can actually make their situation worse. It can increase their negative thoughts and feelings about themselves. Psychologists believe this happens for three reasons. Number one, we're not persuaded by statements that are very far away from what we believe to be true. Hearing something we don't believe at all can even strengthen our original belief. Number two, whenever we hear something we have difficulty believing, we immediately start looking for counterexamples. So if I hear the statement, I love myself, and this is far-fetched from what I believe to be true, I will start looking for examples of situations and characteristics about myself that don't support that claim of I love myself. So that triggers my original feeling of dismissing myself rather than strengthening self-love. And reason number three, change is scary. We like to stay in the realm of what is known to us and what is predictable to us. And an affirmation just may not be enough to get us out of that zone of what we know to be true. There's more to change than just repeating a sentence. In order for affirmations to work, we need to be able to connect to them and feel that they are true, at least to some extent. If that's the case, affirmations can be a powerful tool to reactivate and strengthen a belief that we've learned to be true, but it needs to be there. Otherwise, the affirmation will just bounce right off of our system and activate that negative version of the belief that we're trying to let go of and change. So before we go to an affirmation, we need to do the inner work of changing our belief structure. Affirmations can only work if they're actually affirming you, meaning that when you hear it, something resonates in you. We can't talk our brain into believing something that it resists. We can't magically implant a belief in our mind when it feels like we're lying to ourselves. So affirmations are one of the later steps of inner work when we've done the change of working on our belief. And then affirmations can be really helpful to keep that belief alive, to let it sink in deeper. So before you go to an affirmation, make sure that you've done the inner work of changing your belief structure first. And then when you're ready, test different affirmations and see how helpful they could be for you. A simple way of doing this is to feel what the affirmation feels like in your body. If your spontaneous gut reaction to an affirmation is no way, then that affirmation is too far away from what you believe to be true. If your reaction is something like, yes, that's it, that's what I want to remember more often so I regress into old patterns less frequently, then that is a good affirmation for you. If the affirmation is somewhere between a no and a yes, you can also adapt it so that it feels truer to you. So instead of saying, I am confident, you can say, I can learn to feel more confident. Or instead of saying, I love myself, you could say, today I will look for a way to be kind to myself. Or instead of saying, I am brave, you could say, I'm becoming open to feeling brave. Or instead of saying, I choose to be happy always, you could say, I acknowledge and accept all of my emotions. Some other things to consider is that the affirmation needs to be relevant to you personally. So it probably won't help repeating an affirmation that someone else picked out for you if it doesn't strike a nerve. It needs to be concise so that you can remember it, especially in the situations where it matters, and solution-focused. It needs to express where you want to go, not the place that you want to leave. So a problem-focused affirmation would be, I am not insecure. And a solution-focused affirmation would be, I have confidence inside me. And then the last step is to apply the affirmation, to repeat it regularly for some time. And what helps is to attach it to an already existing habit. For example, repeating your affirmations every time you brush your teeth or on the way to the bus. And also anchor in your body. Don't rush through the affirmation. Feel what it feels like in your body to have that thought, to repeat that sentence. And let that feeling linger and spread. And I need to get one more thing off of my chest before coming to the end of this video, and that is for all the viewers that may be wanting to look into the studies on affirmations themselves. You need to go into the section of the studies where they describe the actual intervention that they tested. The term self-affirmation is used quite differently in the psychological research that I found. Usually those studies test the benefits of connecting to your values, and the intervention they often use is sorting through possible values and sorting them according to your own priorities. Now that's something completely different than repeating an I am sentence. What you want to look for is the term positive self-statements. And also be aware of articles that sum up all of this research under one headline of affirmations. And because then you might find that there's all these claims of all these benefits that haven't really been found for these I am statements yet, but for the benefit of connecting with your values. And I found a lot of those articles. So be aware of the difference of self-affirmations or self-affirmation and positive self-statements. Thank you all for watching this. Remember to comment, like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for all of your support. Till next time, take care and remember to be mindful of your self-talk. It's where a lot of our power comes from.